Taylor Swift is responding to the news that her catalog of her first 6 albums have now been sold again. Scooter Braun bought the masters about 17 months ago, and after the news, Taylor vowed to re-record those albums, a process she has now started.
I know in 2019, when you bought the rights to Taylor Swift's masters, it turned into a really big thing, right? Would you have handled it differently?
Yes, I would have.
If there's anything we've learned from Taylor Swift, it's to never underestimate her. When a music executive named Scooter Braun purchased the rights to her entire music catalog in 2019, she could have just accepted her loss and moved on. But Taylor refused to let someone own the masters to her first 6 albums without putting up a fight. As a young woman in the music industry, Taylor went up against rich and powerful men to reclaim the music that made her into a bona fide star. Against all odds, Taylor Swift beat Scooter Braun at his own game. But before we reveal how she managed to cancel a business magnate, it's important to understand the backstory behind what led to Scooter Braun acquiring the rights to all of Taylor Swift's music. Let's get into it. Taylor got her big break when she signed with Big Machine Records in 2005 when she was just 15 years old. The label was founded by Scott Borchetta, who first met Taylor in 2004 and created Big Machine with the intention of signing her as the company's flagship artist. By 2006, Taylor's first single, Tim McGraw, was released off of her self-titled debut album and met with overwhelming success. Taylor would go on to release 5 more albums under Big Machine Records, including Fearless in 2008, Speak Now in 2010, Red in 2012, 1989 in 2014, and Reputation in 2018. Each one of her records featured an assortment of hit Grammy Award-winning songs that topped the music charts, certifying Taylor as one of the biggest and most lucrative entertainers in the world. Following her 6th studio album, Taylor decided to part ways with Big Machine Records and signed with Republic Records and Universal Music Group. Taylor was assured that she would be given the rights to her masters, but Scott Borchetta did not follow through with his end of the deal. By 2019, Scooter Braun bought Big Machine Records from Scott for $300 million. His acquisition also included the masters to Taylor's first 6 albums. Shocked and outraged, Taylor was extremely vocal against Scooter owning her music. Taylor attested that she was never given the opportunity to own her backlog of music and claimed that Scooter had been bullying her for years. Scooter Braun became known for discovering Justin Bieber and making a large sum off of Justin's career. Of course, there is major money to be made with owning every piece of Taylor Swift produced up until 2018, but Taylor would make sure that he would never get the big payday he was expecting. Taylor and Scooter went tit for tat in the media in a feud that seemed like it would never end. There was somewhat of a loophole for Taylor to regain some sense of ownership over her early music, and that involved re-recording each album. In August 2019, Taylor announced on Good Morning America that she would be re-recording her albums, which her contract permitted her to do beginning in 2020. Taylor's plans prompted an all-out war between her and Scooter. When she was named Artist of the Decade at the American Music Awards, Scooter forbade her from playing a medley of her music at the event. Taylor also revealed that Scott and Scooter would not give their stamp of approval for her to use any of her music in her Netflix documentary, Miss Americana. Taylor used her massive platform to tell the world what Scott Borchetta and Scooter Braun were doing, and her loyal fan base joined her fight against the two men. They eventually agreed to let her play some of her recordings if she agreed to not re-record her albums. They also wanted to prevent her from talking about them in the press, but there was no chance at striking a deal as far as Taylor was concerned. She was not about to back down to a bully. After intense backlash and pressure applied by Taylor's loyal fans, Scott and Scooter finally allowed Taylor to perform her music live. Soon after, Taylor released a letter to her fans outlining her version of what really went down between her, Scott, and Scooter. According to Taylor, she had attempted to buy back her music for years only to be ignored. My musical legacy is about to lie in the hands of someone who tried to dismantle it. I walked away because I knew once I signed that contract, Scott Borchetta would sell the label, thereby selling me and my future, she said before adding, I had to make the excruciating choice to leave behind my past. Taylor highlighted the fact that these were songs that she worked tirelessly to create, explaining, music I wrote on my bedroom floor and videos I dreamed up and paid for from the money I earned playing in bars, then clubs, then arenas, then stadiums. Taylor continued her battle and employed the assistance of her loving fans. I feel very strongly that sharing what is happening to me could change the awareness level for other artists and potentially help them avoid a similar fate, she said. The message being sent to me is very clear. Basically, be a good little girl and shut up, or you'll be punished. This is wrong. Neither of these men had a hand in the writing of those songs. They did nothing to create the relationship I have with my fans, so this is where I'm asking for your help. The ongoing dispute eventually resulted in Scooter begging Taylor for a truce after claiming millions of Swifties were out to ruin his life. He posted a lengthy plea to Taylor on Instagram, writing, "I would like to find a resolution. I'm open to all possibilities. My attempts and calls to have an open discussion with you over the last 6 months have all been rejected. While some on your team and many of our mutual friends have tried to get you to the table, all have had no luck. It almost feels as if you have no interest in ever resolving the conflict. I assume this was not your intention, but it is important that you understand that your words carry a tremendous amount of weight and that your message can be interpreted by some in different ways. We are living in a time of pointless violence, and as a husband and father, I am concerned." On November 16th of 2020, Scooter tried to rid himself of the drama he created surrounding his ownership of Taylor's music by selling the master catalog for $300 million, the same price he had paid to purchase the music the year prior. Although Taylor still did not own the rights to her songs, fans celebrated the fact that Scooter Braun was no longer in control and no longer bullying women in the music industry. During a podcast interview in 2022, Scooter detailed his regrets about the business deal, but never apologized to Taylor. He said, "The regret I have there is that I made the assumption that everyone, once the deal was done, was going to have a conversation with me, see my intent, see my character, and say, 'Great, let's be in business together.' I made that assumption with people that I didn't know. I can't put myself in a place of arrogance to think that someone would just be willing to have a conversation and be excited to work with me.
The regret I have there is that I made the assumption that everyone, once the deal was done, was going to have a conversation with me, see my intent, see my character, and say, 'Great, let's be in business together.'"
Instead of apologizing to Taylor for his antics, it seems he has continued to be arrogant and unaware of his contributions to the inequality of women in the music industry. As of 2023, Taylor has re-released 3 of her older albums, Fearless, Red, and Speak Now, and rebranded them as Taylor's version. An entertainment lawyer on YouTube has explained the legal reasoning behind Taylor's venture, saying, "Because she's the songwriter, she still owns copyright in that music. She just doesn't own the copyright to that particular version of the song. So she can now go on and re-record these songs on her own and own the masters on them, and then she'll have ownership of the new recordings." Fans of Taylor have praised her for not backing down and for standing up to 2 influential men in the music industry. One fan wrote on Reddit saying, "Taylor is a girl boss." Another fan said, "Taylor represents a new generation of women. She never backs down and neither will we." Since the drama with Scooter, Taylor has gained even more success. Taylor embarked on a highly popular Eras tour earlier this year. The tour is set to earn a staggering $1 billion in sales. Millions of fans signed up for pre-sale tickets to get a chance to see Taylor live in concert. The ticketing websites even started crashing right in the middle of the pre-sale due to an overwhelming amount of fans trying to secure their tickets to the show. The tickets sold out in just minutes. Taylor Swift's fans have always proven to be one of the largest and most dedicated fandoms with contagious energy. At the first show of the Eras tour, fans who were unable to score tickets gathered outside of the stadium just to hear Taylor singing live. In now viral videos, you can see thousands of fans gathered in the parking lot of the stadium singing and dancing along to the music. This started a trend for Swifties, and now for every show on the Eras tour, thousands of fans continue to gather outside the venues, forming live listening parties and adding to the excitement. When Taylor Swift performed in Seattle on her Eras tour, fans even managed to set off a small earthquake during the concert. Seattle's Lumen Field Stadium logged in seismic activity that was equal to a 2.3 magnitude earthquake. What's even more crazy is that the shaking lasted for a whopping 10 hours, which is an incredible amount of time for some man-made shakes. Having one of the most dedicated fandoms of this century and with all of her success, I think it's safe to say that Taylor Swift has proven herself to be one of the most iconic artists of all time, and no one, especially Scooter Braun, can get in her way. Are you a Swiftie? What do you think about Scooter Braun's attempt to cancel Taylor? Tell us your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe. See you next time.